Don't really have anything Games Workshop to rant about this week that I'm aware of. I mean, I could always try to redo the video on the female custodies, basically trying to give them the best possible, um, possible benefit of the doubt, and still showing it does not work. But no, people are just too damn stupid for that one. Go back to ranting about sports ball then. The Browns, they hired a head coach. The way they went about it apparently angered the DC so badly now that he wants out, because allegedly he'd been in the building for a few days before the announcement, thinking he was going to be named the head coach. How can you have an organization where in the process we're not trying to keep him in the loop? It's not the whole, you hired another old guy, so why not me? It's, for whatever reason, no one thought to let him know that he wasn't the lead candidate. That they were leaning towards an offensive coordinator, but still wanted him around. I mean, I do like the hire. I do like the hire, but the whole process, they're the only team doing psyche evals on people and all that, and they have additional homework in between the interviews. If they're the only team doing that, that might be why people are pulling out during these interviews. Everyone else, I don't have to do this additional BS. So why should I do it for you when your talent acquisition is so bad? Yeah, they had a good draft last year, but they still didn't address the offensive line. The wide receiver, who appears could at least be a number 2, they got him because of stuff that happened outside of the draft. He wasn't a pick. They doubled up at running back. They doubled up at quarterback. And depending on how Judkins is doing, they might have to worry about running back again. Because Sampson's a great change of pace, but he's not a bell cow. You need to have a hammer to go with his lightning. And Judkins was a very, very serviceable hammer. He wasn't a Nick Chubb, but he was good. But yeah, they didn't address the offensive line, so now the entire line is old. They've gotten worse since Callahan, even further worse since Callahan left. They're all on expiring contracts. They still really don't have a receiving threat. So one would think they'd prioritize that with their first pick. If only because there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of difference upon the top so many tackles, but there is difference at the top wide receivers. Carnell Tate is the guy I want them to take, personally. Unless there is some offensive tackle that just stands out above everybody else. Or there's a guy that they really, really like at offensive tackle and they think there's a similar player to Tate out there. Which, looking at Buka, I really doubt that's the case. Because there were a few receivers I put at him last year, and they did not end up anywhere near like him. With Tate being the next one in the line of Ohio State, oh my God, receivers. If anyone wants to complain about Harrison out in Arizona, a lot of that has to do with the quarterback itself. Because once they went with the backup instead of with what's his name? the Smurf that the little short guy. His name I can't think of it off the top of my head. Normally I can, but no, not right now. Once I switched to the backup, who actually ran the offense as scripted, instead of scrambling and doing all that stuff, trying to improvise during the play. And having to do so because he was significantly under 6 foot tall. He actually started posting decent numbers. It's almost like the problem with the Browns when they had Johnny Douchebag. Johnny'd start scrambling, and outside of Flash Gordon, no one trusted him. You could tell that from the routes they ran. What's the point of running the route properly if he's not even going to go through the play properly? I still need to dig out my last project I was working on when I stopped taking commissions, because no one was taking me up on the offer to paint things for him, because no one had money in like 2006. I couldn't figure it out until middle of 07. All of a sudden, housing crisis. Huh. No wonder they stopped all that. Huh. Guess it makes sense now. I am genuinely curious whenever the GameStop stuff is actually going to hit. Because that company is still horrifically shorted. Just horrifically shorted. Should I have more shares personally? Probably. But I have other things to worry about at the moment. I pick up where I can. I could talk about anime, but I don't really have any hot takes at the moment. I could do I could talk about rewriting rules for certain old games so that they work better, like Full Thrust. If you ever want to look at an old game that is still fun to play, just be aware it has been solved. And I've been trying to fix that solving over 20 years. But that also involves getting people to actually want to play it and test it and not go for the C-beam patrol boat spam, and actually make decent fleets. Fleets with some actual variety, maybe a capital ship, some escorts, some a couple C-beams. I say C-beams because you have the 3 different classes of beam weaponry: A, B, C. A are 3 dice, B are 2, C are 1. A's obviously way more, take up more space. Same with B's and C's. C's are minimum. They have, if you do a single arc of fire, it's like 1 unit. So the whole thing is smallest ship you can make that only has a single C-beam on it, single unidirectional C-beam, and just a swarm of them. Because you can only target as many ships as you have target control state. I want to say, God, it's been so long since I played this. As you have control nodes. base number you have is based upon your classification of vessel. Your frigates, destroyers typically have 1. Your cruisers have 2. Your full caps, battle cruisers, battleships, and whatnot, carriers all have 3. Minimum. You can pay for more, but typically not a good idea. Because there's all sorts of different varieties as far as how you build the ships. I mean, there's the in the base game, there's even 4 different factions that will give you ships for, and they're 4 very different design philosophies. The British American one, very high technology. All of them have shields, basically. Whereas the German, the East German, Russian, Soviet one, yes, the game is that old. Everything's armor. Everything is armor. Everything is cheap. And everything is basically a sledgehammer in space. Maybe the Germans were... it's been so long since I played this. I need to dig out the books at some point. But the whole thing was basically trying to disincentivize people just taking frigate spam. And do something similar to Battlefleet Gothic, where you had to have a capital ship so you could have so many cruisers and then have so many frigates off of that. Depending on how many points you have. And that would determine how you built your fleet, basically. Because if I remember correctly, BFG, you could only have 3 escorts, frigates or destroyers. The torpedo boat, the lance ship, or the not bombardment, the cannon ship, basically. They'd have light cruisers. There's a light cruiser class. I can't remember which one that was. Then you had your modular cruisers for the main factions, and they were all pretty cool. All right. Well, whatever you're playing, play it because you actually want to play it. Don't play it because you're trying to subvert everything and kick people out. If that's the case, fuck off. You shouldn't be here in the first place.